Yokohama, Japan, the city plays host to one of the most significant gatherings of the year. The Tokyo International Conference on African Development, better known as TICAD, opens with Japan's Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba welcoming Africa's leaders. Against a backdrop of debt crises, climate challenges and geopolitical rivalries, the stakes could not be higher. South Africa's Cyril Ramaphosa, Nigeria's Bola Tinubu and Kenya's William Ruto join fellow leaders, signalling Africa's central role in shaping discussions that go far beyond aid. This year, the presence of these powerhouses underscores a deliberate step to make Africa not a recipient, but an equal voice in charting the global development agenda. Prime Minister Ishiba makes his entrance, emphasizing Japan's intent to stand with Africa, not above it. His message is clear. Japan offers a credible alternative to China's Belt and Road Initiative, one rooted in transparency, sustainability, and shared growth. Side by side with UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres, Ishiba presents an image of unity. But behind the symbolic handshakes and waves lies a complex agenda: how to finance Africa's future while avoiding the traps of dependency and debt. Delegates fill the hall as the conference begins. The challenges are daunting. Africa's debt burden, worsened by Western aid cuts and conflict, now collides with the escalating climate crisis. Japan and the United Nations are positioning themselves as allies ready to respond. Guterres sets the tone, warning that the world faces interconnected crises and deep inequalities. He stresses that Africa's development must not be treated as a side issue, but as a shared priority. In one of his strongest remarks, the UN chief pushes for reform of the Security Council, reminding the world that Africa, despite its population and economic weight, still lacks a permanent seat at the table. His words resonate with leaders who have long felt excluded from global decision-making structures. Guterres also highlights the digital divide. He warns that while artificial intelligence offers immense potential, it risks leaving Africa behind. Japan's technological leadership, he argues, could help bridge that gap. With a memorable phrase, he reframes AI as Africa included, calling for innovative financing to ensure that developing countries are not sidelined in the technological revolution. Then comes a striking moment from Shigeru Ishiba. Speaking candidly, the Japanese leader acknowledges that his own country faces serious challenges, from depopulation in rural areas to a rapid decline in farmland. In a rare reversal of roles, Ishiba says Japan hopes to borrow wisdom from Africa to solve these issues. His admission reframes the narrative of the conference, turning it from charity to genuine partnership. The message resonates across the hall. African leaders are not here merely as guests, but as architects of a shared future. The idea that Africa's experience and resilience can guide even developed nations like Japan shifts the tone of the dialogue. As discussions progress, themes emerge: green investment, climate adaptation, and debt relief. Japan positions itself as a nation with lessons to share, from disaster recovery to rebuilding after war, but also as a country eager to learn from Africa's resourcefulness and innovation. For Ishiba, hosting TICAD is more than a diplomatic formality. It is a strategic statement that Japan intends to counterbalance China's growing influence on the continent. For Guterres, it is a defense of multilateralism in an age of fragmentation. Both leaders recognize that Africa holds the key to the future of global growth, peace, and security. Analysts note that Africa's population is projected to double by 2050, and its cities are among the fastest growing in the world. For Japan, a nation facing demographic decline, Africa is not just a partner, it is a lifeline. Engagement is not charity, but strategic necessity. As the conference continues, leaders exchange documents, hold breakout discussions, and outline commitments. The symbolism of this gathering will ultimately be judged by its outcomes. Will pledges on investment, climate action, and debt relief translate into lasting reform? Or will Africa once again leave the global stage with promises unfulfilled? For now, the words of Ishiba and Guterres echo together. Africa's wisdom and the world's action are both urgently needed. In Yokohama, the call for partnership has been made. The question remains, who will answer?
Right to start taking a group photo. Please look this way. And then please wave. Thank you very much for your cooperation. Now please leave this room slowly from the front floor. Thank you.
We meet at a time of interconnected crises and deep inequalities. Tackling these crises requires a clear focus not only on development for Africa, but on development with Africa. Africa must have a stronger voice in shaping the decisions that affect its future. That includes long overdue reform of the Security Council, where incredibly Africa has no permanent member and other regions remain underrepresented. We must harness digital innovation, including artificial intelligence, for development. But the African people are still suffering from a wide digital divide. Japan's technological leadership can help close this divide. We have just shared a report outlining innovative financing options to build AI capacity in developing countries. AI must stand for Africa included.
Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba says he hopes to borrow wisdom from Africa as he hosts leaders from the continent for a 3-day development conference in Yokohama. Ishiba is also expected to pitch Japan as an alternative to China as the continent reels from a debt crisis exacerbated by Western aid cuts, conflict and climate change. Those in attendance include Nigerian President Bola Tinubu, South Africa's Cyril Ramaphosa, William Ruto of Kenya, and UN head Antonio Guterres.